Oh, speaking of weirdos, here's a guy running for Senate in Virginia. This is apparently a show. I don't know what the name of the show is. Who's this guy? Sean Feucht.
His name is Sean Feucht. He's like a Christian media personality. Don't know a ton about him though.
Okay, he's a Christian nationalist apparently, according to Right Wing Watch, and or I should say, yeah. And Hung Kao is a Republican running for Senate in Virginia. And he blows open this big story that I was not aware of. You know how they're for religious freedom is like the key, right? It's about religious freedom for everybody. Well, Hung Kao has some interesting ideas, completely not weird ideas about what's going on in the country and why it's important for him to run. Here, listen to this.
Tell me about Virginia. Tell me about your experience. What do you see God doing? And then let's get into, obviously, your amazing announcement, what you're pumped about.
Well, the last 3 statewide elections were won by Republicans, right? The governor, the lieutenant governor, and the attorney general, all Republicans.
And Winsome Sears is a gangster.
Yes, she is. And
we love her.
Great woman of God. I mean, honestly, she's always texting me prayers, and then we pray back and forth, and she's amazing. And so, again, it's, we can't let it turn like this. There's a place in Monterey, California called Lovers Point.
Yeah.
The original name was Lovers of Christ Point, but now it's become, they took out the Christ. It's
Pause it for one second. Now, does this guy have some type of attachment to California? Is he from California originally?
I'll double check. I don't think him and his family came over from Vietnam. They were like refugees. I'll see where they transferred.
Because America is a big place. And if you're looking for some justification for running for Senate in Virginia, I would imagine, like, why do you need to cite one location in California? But let's listen to this again. This is like it reminds me of every War on Christmas story, where it's like in Wisconsin, they did not sing Silent Night with the same lyrics as I did when I was a kid in a school in remote Wisconsin. So there's a war on Christmas.
And so, again, it's, we can't let it turn like this. There's a place in Monterey, California called Lovers Point.
Yeah.
The original name was Lovers of Christ Point, but now it's become, they took out the Christ, it's Lovers Point, and it's really, Monterey is a very dark place now.
Yeah.
A lot of witchcraft and the Wiccan community has really taken over there. And we can't let that happen in Virginia. Virginia is, I mean, especially down in Roanoke, they're God-loving people.
Right.
Richmond too, and Virginia Beach, and we just need to mobilize Christians across the nation. I mean,
pause it for a second. I guess that's all we have there. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I get it. Obviously, Monterey has been taken over by Wiccans. I mean, everybody knows this.
I see him flying around on brooms and stuff.
Everybody knows. It's witchcraft.
Black cats. Toadstools.
I think one of the ways, actually, one of the reasons why they didn't need the high-speed train was because of the magic portal that they put in Monterey.
Well, it's so much easier by broom.
Broomstick travel.
But you've got a huge country with well over 300 million people, and your justification to run for Senate in Virginia is we don't want Virginia to turn into the Wiccan haven that Monterey, California is. There's a lot of distance between. What about all those other places? I mean, Wiccan's a religion, and it doesn't seem terribly, more or less, legit than Christianity or any other religion for that matter. But let's just even assume that, okay, all right, Christians, you're a Christian person, you're very afraid of Wiccanism.
The Wiccans are on the march.
don't you think they're going to hit a couple of places before they get to Virginia? Like, why aren't people in Oklahoma running against the Wiccans in Monterey, California? Why aren't the Republicans in Arizona or Colorado or Nebraska? Or, I mean, theoretically, the Wiccans could travel north too, like in the Dakotas or Montana. Like, why are they coming directly from Monterey to Virginia?
Well, no one's noticing them until they get to Virginia. You have the vigilant Christians like that guy.
Pretty crazy. John from Teaburg, the Wiccans are so powerful, they created a barrier that extends all the way to Virginia. We must vote to break their spell. I mean, that's what it sounds like is the argument.
Well, that's what happened to the Roanoke colony in Virginia. Just witches got them.
Mm-hmm. That is, they're not weird. That's not weird. Why are you running for the Senate in Virginia? Well, of course, because of the Wiccans in Monterey, California.
You know what they say?
That's completely normal.
They say the two longest genres in media are crime sensationalism and witch hunting.
Well,
Well, it's also funny because I feel like there is a lot of rhetoric in terms of like I'm remembering like Ron DeSantis with the "Don't Fauci my Florida" type stuff of like being like we don't want our state to turn out like New York or Baltimore or something like that. But he's very specifically being like, no, we don't want it to turn out like the Lover's Hill in Monterey because now it's been beset by Wiccan ideology.
There's a rest stop in California that I'm afraid our state is going to turn into. They renamed a rest stop, and I just don't want that to happen in Virginia. Virginia today, tomorrow, Wickenginia. Hey, so we all remember the Supreme Court's ruling on Trump's presidential immunity case. Well, get this. The leader of the Heritage Foundation think tank has said the second American Revolution will be bloodless if the left allows it to be. All sparked by the Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. Well, Ground News found nearly 50 sources reporting on it with zero coverage coming from the right. Why? Well, going through these articles, you can see most of them tie this project to Trump. Like this report from the DCCC writing Trump's so-called Project 2025 manifesto advocates for a nationwide abortion ban, quote, silencing his political enemies and more. With presidential elections not too far away, this is an extremely important story, and you wouldn't know about it unless you intentionally diversify where you get your news from, which is why Ground News created their blind spot feed. It's to surface major stories with little reporting coming from either the right or the left. Our longtime sponsor really simplifies empowering yourself with knowledge so we're fully aware where our information is coming from and how that influences our reporting or lack thereof. An important mission under our current political climate. Best of all, they're offering my viewers 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan that gets me access to all their features. So head to ground.news/majority or scan my QR code to help support an independent news platform working towards a more transparent media landscape. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.